We do, 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 do. Make sure audio is all set before we get started. Before we get to the nitty of the gritty. All right. Wait for this audio. Get started. All right. Seems like we are all set. Should be all good now. So, what is going on, y'all? Welcome back to another One Piece Manga Chapter live stream, live reaction for One Piece Chapter 1167. We are here. I know this reaction is a little later than usual. Normally, I do the reaction pretty early from the release, but life just been lifing. I've been busy with a whole bunch of stuff, so we are here with an official read through of the Viz translation. If you guys want to follow through for this chapter, me and Danny will still be doing the chapter reaction, read through, review of chapter 1167 on the Moon Piece podcast channel. I don't think that'll be happening tonight. We might be doing Monday night just because Danny is out living his life. He's in Baltimore and all that. So we still have other stuff going on the Moon Piece podcast channel. So if you guys are checking me out here, please go check out my podcast with my two co-hosts, Danny and Kimmy. Kimmy's watching One Piece for the first time there. Me and Danny are watching Sailor Moon for the first time there. Danny does Blue Lock reviews. We do Kagurabachi once a month. I do JoJo's once a month there. You know the spiel. Like, subscribe, do all of that, guys, please. So, without any further ado, chapter 1167, Ida's son. So we start with a cover story. Reader request. Gen and Nojiko scolding a cat trying to steal a book, but they're not really mad. By the ideal Sanji. So it's supposed to be a cat burglar, right? Like Nami. And we're here in Fuchsia Village, right? Fuchsia Village, is that the name of Nami's? What the hell is Nami's place called? Now I gotta look it up. Nami's village name. Kokoyashi. There we go. Kokoyashi. There we go. Okay, cool. Cute. Right? Not much to say here. Let's keep it a pushing. All right, 33 years ago, 5 years after God Valley, we were all freaking out that there were pirates off the coast when all of a sudden we see Big News Morgan talking to civilians. An enormous figure appears out of the mist behind him. Seafloor prison, impelled down. Kaboom. And the next thing I knew, the ship was in splinters. We were sunk in a matter of seconds. Yeah, by a Neptunian, right? No, it was like human. And did this event take place in the Florian Triangle? Not even close. You think there's any fish worth catching there? We don't go near it. All I can say is it was a monster in human form. We talking about the Florian Triangle is back. At this time, the countries of the Grand Line were abuzz with a frightening rumor. A tale of a lurking monster that struck his targets, mostly pirate ships, from the deeper mists out at sea. Ah! Damn, it looks like Harold was out here doing the bidding. In truth, this monster was Harold. But to the people on the sea who'd never even seen a giant before, the experience was pure terror. As part of a sworn oath of 1,000-year atonement, Harold assisted Navy efforts to uphold order. Bro's out here just taking out pirates. Meanwhile, the pirates who scattered to the winds after God Valley, we got Kaido, we got Whitebeard, we got Big Mom, would grow in power over the next decade or two until they reached their primes and became the faces of their era. You see Big Mom crashing out slowly. My glorious baby girl, Charlotte Linlin. All the while, as the pirates around them focused on claiming territory, you got Shiki, We got Wang Ji. One crew achieved the seemingly impossible and succeeded in circumnavigating the globe. The crew led by the king of the pirates. We got Buggy that just showed up here. Buggy is just here. There's just nothing. Just Buggy just shows up. Fine. The crew led by the king of the pirates, Gold Roger, when he was captured sometime later and publicly executed, the world government assumed it would serve as a demonstration of their strength. However, the allure of his massive fortune, the One Piece, sent the world into an era of frenzied madness. Damn, son. To counteract the arrival of the unforeseen great era of piracy, Navy headquarters recruited over a dozen giants from various regions in the hopes of bolstering their ranks. Okay, this is when they start getting giants. Harold, meanwhile, who had been faithfully serving as a tool of the Navy, it was huge, an ancient giant, they say. I wanted as a slave. Oh, God, here comes the celestial dragons being bozos. Was finally given official access to the Holy Land this year. A Shallows Covenant. A Shallows Covenant? What? Indeed. You are now a trusted weapon of the Holy Knights of God. A devoted blade. It's an honor. Oh my God, this nigga Harold. Harold has literally got the tat on him. What? A Shallows Covenant. The covenant has 3 stages. The Shallows Covenant is but a mere trace of a bond, but the Depths Covenant and Abyssal Covenant are reserved for only 13 exclusive individuals. But the Depths Covenant and the Abyssal Covenant, that's different, are reserved for only 13 exclusive individuals who can enter into a contract with the true God. What is this God you speak of? If the day should come that you are made a proper knight, then you will know the truth in the depths of the world. And is that when ELBAPH will be allowed to join the government? Of course, Harold. It will be announced to the world, and you will be welcomed. I am grateful for this honor. I'll do anything you ask of me. Coonin. Okay, so we're learning about the different covenants that you have to make with Emu. A Shallows Covenant is but a mere trace of a bond, but the Depths Covenant and Abyssal Covenant, there's 3 different covenants, are reserved for only 13 exclusive individuals. So that's the ability to use the Abyss, maybe? I don't know. Let's see. Shangara, the Knights Temple, land of the gods. This nigga really trying to become a God's Knight. Commander, Holy Knights of God, Fingerling family, Saint Garling. Look at that. We see Garland here with his glasses on, aged up. What is the Great One thinking? Can the king of ELBAPH actually take orders? Let's see. We got him. We got Summers. I'm guessing that's got to be Shamrock. Of course. Your word is my command. We will call if we need you. Keep a long-distance transponder snail on your person. You are free to visit the lower world, but you will not speak a word of what goes on here. Understood. This nigga, Harold. Harold, you're cooning. It don't gotta be like this. You're grooning. Harold. 20 years ago, Fishman Island, Ryugu Kingdom. Ho 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 ho, ba da ha 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 ha. It's been too long since I had such a good laugh, Neptune. Okay, so we got Harold and Neptune. The same, my friend, the same. We have too many troubles on our minds. See, we got both Neptune and him just struggling to get their people accepted by the government. First of all, no, I very much doubt your son is some kind of demon child. I mean, can he possibly be worse than you were? Well, then, when you put it that way, actually, a fortune teller told me that I will receive a daughter 4 years from now. What do you say? We can betroth your Loki to my daughter. The pact. They go to pact. 4 years from now. How many years? 20 years ago. Okay, got it. Look at him thinking about it. Forget it. Listen, I'm not talking about any ordinary mermaid. Supposedly, she might be born with wild, disruptive powers. In that case, it sounds like a match made in heaven. Let's have a toast to the future of my little brat and your shaggy daughter. She will not be shaggy. Nigga said your daughter gonna be hit. Nigga told him his daughter was gonna be hit. That's crazy work. That's really crazy work. Tell him, bro, his daughter is gonna be hit is so wild. You know what I mean? That year, our library, ELBAPH. Of course you can settle down here, Saul. I appreciate that. But I wanted to ask you something. What's that? And they go, Ripley. Would you join with the educated of ELBAPH and open a school here? A school, huh? Sounds nice. Okay. Things are happening. 15 years ago. Oh, Oda's moving. Oda's moving. We've gone from 33 to 20 to now we at 15. So Luffy's born already? 15 years ago, there was a shocking incident in sacred Marijoa. My slaves have escaped. They've broken their cages open. Get out. Hurry. You want to spend your life in chains? They go fish a tiger. Damn it. You a knight of God? And we see what seems to be Shamrock pulling up. I've left the armory on lock. Here's how to get here. Wait a minute. No, that's not Shamrock. That's not Shamrock. They told him how to get out of there? And they hot in the face? And the side where the scar is? Nah, that's Shanks. Whoa, is that gunpowder? Hurry, sister. Santa Sonia, someone's come. They're fighting for us. We can escape this hell. So you got Boa, Hancock, Fisher, Tiger, Shanks. Yo, everything's connecting. Hurry, Koala. We're getting out of here. This incident, caused by the future captain of the Sun Pirates, Fisher Tiger, was known as the ransacking of sacred Marijoa. And then we see the Santa Sonia sisters getting out of here. I mean, Boa Hancock. The Boa sisters. Hancock, Fisher Tiger, Koala, Shanks, all in one panel. 2 panels. So Boa Hancock wouldn't be free if it wasn't for Shanks. Sounds like it was quite the night. We're thinking someone from our side might have opened up the armory to them. So we're looking for that rat now. Put him to death. Harold, allow me to introduce you. Huh? This is Shanks. He's the younger brother of Shamrock, separated after birth. He's been through the gauntlet of the lower world. Okay. He's been through the gauntlet of the lower world. But if entered into a depths covenant, he'll be an instant boost, likely on the level of Shamrock. The depths covenant? What the hell is this? They trying to make him immortal? For the time being, we'll use him as a devoted blade of God like you. I thought the same thing with Shamrock at first. But have we met before? I don't know you. You great lumbering peon. Look at Shanks putting on an act right now. Look at Shanks putting on an act right now. How dare you speak to me as if we're equals? I've always had the blood of Finland in my veins. Mark my words. I'll be a knight before you. Oh, my mistake. My mistake. Look at Shanks trying to show out. Look at Shanks trying to show out. Oh, Harold, allow me to introduce you. This is my son Shanks. He was in the trenches. Let's go, Shamrock. Tell me more about the Holy Land. I want to be the hero who captures the one responsible for the attack. Any clues? So we see devoted blade of God, Fingerland family, Saint Shanks. Saint Shanks is crazy. There's still time to do this once your wound is healed, Shanks. You don't know how it feels to learn that you've wasted 24 years of your life. I always knew I was different from the others. Holy Knight of God, Fingerland family, Saint Shamrock. I hated everything down there. Okay. Look at them. Look at the town people glazing Shamrock and Shanks. But Harold looking at him like, this got to be why Shanks never felt like he could talk to him. Because bro was basically undercover. You know what I mean? He wasn't really about this life. So he couldn't really talk to Harold about anything like sus. That year, Fisherman Village, ELBAPH. Nope, can't help. I don't know enough about medicine. Let's call Harold and ask him to send a good doctor with proper stuff. No, you can't. He's busy with his job. What's a government connection good for, if not this? Just watch. I'll get better on my own. Oh, my God. Here we go, Oda. Oda, you hate mothers. You hate mothers. What's a government connection good for, if not this? Just watch. I'll get better on my own. Seems to me you've been getting worse by the day. Harold will be heartbroken if he sees you like this. You run the bar for me, Mato. No. Not when you're sick, Ida. Oh, okay. You would know. You know what Harold does each time he comes home. He visits all the elders and asks to make you his true wife. The fool. I prefer running that little bar. Meeting all the sailors from far-off lands makes me feel like I've been helping Harold out in my own little way. Hey, outsider hag. Loki, got some fresh meat to feed her? No, got some fresh meat to feed her. That bar's a nice, chill place for me to hang out at. I need it open again. Look at him. He's like, I got some meat for her. He tried to just make it seem like he don't care just by saying, yeah, I need that bar open so I can hang out there. This guy. He's gotten bigger, but he's still the same impudent brat inside. You're the only one who could tame that little beast. Hadrian's off with his comrades, searching overseas for a doctor for you. So both of your sons have a lot of love for you. Both of your sons. So Loki does eventually accept Ida, but he's just still being an asshole saying outside of hag. So now we got Stanson, we got all of them. Road. Okay. You're all making a big deal out of nothing. I'm just fine. That's real sweet of them, though. Brewer's Village. Loki's mother's home. ELBAPH. Huh? What'd you say? I said we don't want that outsider woman becoming the queen. You agree with that, right, Loki? Estra's the true queen, and she's from our people. They can't take away our fortune and status, so we gave that wench a little poison. These ergo spores won't stop once they've taken root. It's certain death. Damn. No. What? Mato, get in touch with Harold at once. I will. It doesn't matter if we're not related by blood. Loki's my dear sweet boy, just like Hadrian is. Loki, stop! Ada ain't gonna die, is she? Aw, shit. I remember what my real mother did. She cast me out of the tree into the underworld. You want fortune? You people make me sick. Ida ain't gonna die, is she? Because she's Loki. It's just lonely. That's all. Want to live with us? The only mother I have. And that's the end of the chapter. No. Oh my God. These fucking menaces. These menaces. Ah. Ah. Oda, chapter 1167 is all about the wrath of the dead baby mama. Oh my days. Why you gotta do Ida like this? Why? We coming off the strength of the horror, the pain of my glorious goat, my glorious king. Rocksteeds are back, passing on. And now Oda decided, chapter 1167, Ida's son. Let me cook her. And let me do her grimy. And let me make Loki feel all types of pain. Oda, you monster. Anyways, let's just start with the cover story for our little recap, right? We get the cover story. We got Nojiko and Gen in Kokoyashi Village, where Nami came from, and they're looking at a cat. Still a book about a fish. Kind of kawaii. We're talking about cat burglar Nami. You know what I mean? I see what Oda did there. It was a request, right? So nothing crazy here. Nothing. Bring back the cover stories, man. Oda, when he's in his cover story bag, is great. But guess what? How many other series really utilize their cover page for things like this? But we cut to 33 years ago, 5 years after God Valley opening up the chapter. We find out that Harold is out here, raccooning, you know what I mean? Doing everything that Emu demands of him, while the world, Big News Morgan, and plenty other news organizations are trying to figure out what exactly is going on. There's just this thing that some wonder, is it something from the Florian Triangle? Like, is it a sea monster? But no, Harold has been attacking pirate ships in the sea just randomly for the world government, just to keep pirates at bay. And people around the world have not all seen a giant. They just thinking, damn, this looked like a human. It wasn't a sea beast. But they never seen giants before. So Harold just coming out the dust, coming out the clouds, and all of a sudden you just see a big sword. Ha! Just cook you out of nowhere. Trying to keep people from going across the sea. Emu's trying to keep people on their home so he can hit them with the Dami reverse C. Right? And all while this is happening, while Harold is doing the bidding of the world government over the past couple years, right? They say over the next decade or two, right? We get to see the rise of the 4 emperors themselves, or the 3 emperors that we know about, right? We see Kaido coming to bloom. We see Whitebeard coming to bloom. We see Big Mom, Charlotte Linlin, Ma. Starting to get a little bit off her rockers. Her laugh is getting a lot more sinister here, right? We see Wang Ji. Everybody's claiming their territory. Shiki's here. Don't know what Shiki did, right? And then we do also find out that there was one crew out of all of these people that rose to power after God Valley over the next decade or two, even with Harold putting a lot of pirates out of the game, right? That were never able to come up. People just looking for fish, right? The Roger Pirates. With Buggy just showing up, showed up, Buggy's just here. Fine. I accept it. I yield, Oda. Buggy's not a Nepo baby. Am I mad? No. Am I happy? Not really either. I just wanted Buggy to have some type of special thing. But yes, it makes it even better that Buggy is really just some rando. Buggy is Oda's favorite, just like Polnareff is Araki's favorite in JoJo's, right? So we also finally see that, the Gold Roger pirates, they circumvented the globe, right? And eventually, we know the story. Roger gives up. The government decides, like, okay, cool. Roger's giving up. Let's flex. Let's do a whole big flex and show everybody the might of us, the world government, right? And put on a public execution. Backfires, right? Because that is what leads to Roger being like, yo, the One Piece is real. Wow. Can we get much higher? Right? Because of this, now even more pirates is going on the sea. And then this is where we find out that more giants are also getting recruited now, because they're like, all right, now there's mad pirates on the sea because of Roger. And this is the exact opposite of what we wanted, right? So we got to get some giants. So they started getting giants from around the world to join the naval force to really keep these pirates at bay, right? Oda is really just jumping timeline to timeline, because as we get more into the chapter, we get even more closer to the current time, right? So meanwhile, we cut to Mary Joie, where we see Harold teaching us about these covenants. You know what I mean? Covenants? Man normal? Flipping around, what do you get? W? Wicked Witch. You know what I mean? We learned about covenants through Harold talking to the elders, right? A giant is now given access, and we learn about the Shallows covenant, right? And now, we got Mars talking to, oh no, this is Mercury, talking to Harold, and Harold flexing his little tat, talking about, all right, in the meantime, we're going to give you a Shallows covenant for now, and you're going to be a devoted blade, right? So having that on you, that ain't just no tattoo. That's a covenant. Anime Lunch Table, what's going on? The covenant has 3 stages, right? So a shallow covenant is, I guess, the first level of your connection to Emu, right? A mere trace of a bond. But then when you get to the second level, the depth covenant, and then you get to the abyssal covenant, right? Is how your different connections are to Emu. So one just might be like Emu can contact you, or maybe you have access to powers, but you can't really create anything specifically, or Emu has the ability to just teleport towards you. I don't know exactly what the Shallows one gets, right? But then you get the Depths Covenant, right? So maybe that has something closer to do with, per se, the immortality of it all, right? Maybe that's the ability to use the teleportation and summing the circles yourself, right? I'm not sure where the disconnect is or the different levels. And the Abyssal Covenant, I gotta assume, is only meant for the 5 elders, because they let us know that they're reserved for only 13 exclusive individuals. So then you have 5 elders, right? And then I'm going to assume you have 8 holy knights that have access, or 8 other people that has a connection to this Emu. The unlucky number 13 itself, right? 13 different exclusive individuals to be part of a contract with the true God. And Harold doesn't even know who this is. Harold still doesn't know who Emu is. He just thinks he's following directions of the Goro say, but he lets him know, hey, listen, Ethan Baron Venus Juro tells him straight up, listen, if you become a proper knight, then you will know the true depths of the world. Like, if once you really do what you need to do, then maybe you might meet the Great One. Maybe you might meet Big Moo. You know what? Let's do this for the one time. Maybe you might meet Big Moo and this mother. Maybe you might meet Big Moo and this mother. Maybe, right? And all Harold wants through all of this is just to be able to have ELBAPH be a part of the world government. He's like, and then I get to join your team, right? They're like, maybe. Okay, this is an honor. I'll do anything you ask of me. I'll do anything. And they just sat and just like, okay, brother. They're like, look, get a load of this guy. Get a load of this guy, thinking he's going to make it to the big leagues. They're not taking him seriously at all, guys. They are not. They are simply using him. And poor Harold, I understand, right? Ida got him to become this way, essentially, which is a good and a bad thing, because now it's just falling into the plans of Emu himself, right? So now we cut to Shangara, the Knights Temple, the land of the gods, right? So this seems to be where the Holy Knights are. And we see Garling with his little shades on. We see Somers, and we see Shamrock, right? A young Shamrock, really talking to Harold, right? Talking to Harold, and was like, are you sure? Like, I don't know what the Great One is thinking, but can a king from ELBAPH really take orders? Like, I don't know about this, but in the meantime, hey, if you're going to be part of the Holy Knights, if you're going to be considered a devoted blade, right, then keep this long distance transponder snail. You're free to go into the lower world and do what you want, but you cannot talk about anything that happens up here. But if we need to hit you up, don't call us. We'll call you. Right? So that's the vibe we get there. And then we cut back to 20 years ago, Fishman Island, the Ryugu Kingdom. And we see Harold and Neptune, because they did connect on Harold's journeys, going around the world before. We see them now reconnecting again. The giants and the fishermen have very similar struggles, right? This acceptance by the world government, wanting to be a part and being allowed to go to the reverie. So these two kings have a lot to understand. And obviously our crew, our main characters, have traveled to these lands, have made big connections, right? And Neptune even humbles Harold, like, maybe your kid can't be that bad. He definitely doesn't have a curse, right? Because remember how you used to be? Like, you used to be a menace, bro. And Harold is like, you know what? You're not wrong. You're not wrong. So fuck it, right? When you put it that way, like, they drinking, they vibing, and Neptune comes up with an idea. He's like, yo, just so you know, you got a little fortune teller, right? Charlotte, right? Whatever her name was. She said I'm about to have a daughter 4 years from now, right? Because Shirahoshi is 16, right? Luffy's about to be born in like a year or two from now, right? And he said, maybe we should have Loki marry my daughter, right? He's like, I mean, I don't know about all that. Like, should we really have that? Like Harold wasn't really banging with the idea completely. He's like, yo, just so you know, my daughter she's not supposed to be some regular daughter, right? She's supposed to have some disruptive powers. So if we pair her, with your son, I'm just saying. And Harold then violates and was like, well, we'll see. Like, we'll see. Like, I guess we can make this happen. It sounds like a match made in heaven. If Loki is like a menace and your daughter is supposed to have like these crazy powers, then fine. I guess she can, like, my little brat and your shaggy daughter can get together. Violation. Basically told him that his daughter was going to be hit before she was born, because Neptune is obviously mad hairy. Telling bro that his daughter was going to be hit is crazy, right? So these different journeys that we're getting through Harold's, just, it's sad to see, because bro wants it so bad. He wants it so bad, because now we even cut back to ELBAPH, right? That same year, and we're at the Owl Library, and we see Ripley, and we got Saul still alive after the O'Hara incident, and he's asking Saul to, like, hey, can you open a school here, right? And Harold's like, Saul's like, all right, cool. If you're going to let me stay here, then cool. Like, I'll open a school here, and we'll get the people more educated. Because this is what Harold wants for his people. He wants them to be educated, because knowledge is also power. Yes, some people believe might makes right. But knowledge is truly key. So then we cut again, 15 years ago. Back to Mary's War. We see Fisher Tiger himself trying to escape Marijois with the whole incident that we know from the Fisher Tiger backstory. And what seems to be a shadowy figure, who we see silhouette-wise, think might be Shamrock, but we know it's Shanks. We got the face, half the face hidden. Interacts. It seems like they're about to stop Fisher Tiger, and tells him, I've left the armory unlocked. Here's how to get there. He tells Fisher Tiger exactly how to get out of Mary's Wall. Essentially, what Oda's doing in this double panel, right? This 2-page thing, is he is not only connecting Shanks being a liberator, right? With Fisher Tiger being the reason that Fisher Tiger's free. Boa Hancock, Koala, like the Hancocks, Boa sisters, right, would not be free at all, right? Because we're seeing them here. If it wasn't for Shanks being sus in Mary Joie, doing things without people knowing, right? So that freedom then leads us to cut again to another time where we've learned that this was called the ransacking of the sacred Mary Joie, caused by the future captain of the Sun Pirates, Fisher Tiger, right? So now we cut to Mary Joie again. We see that Harold, the God's Knight, essentially, is back here yapping with Garling and Somers and all them, right? And they're trying to wonder. They're like, yeah, apparently somebody opened the armory and did all this other stuff. We need to figure out who the rat is that caused all this, right? And then while that's happening, while they're kind of letting Harold know about this, you got Shamrock, punk ass Shamrock over here trying to act like a proud dad. He's over here like, hey, Harold, allow me to introduce you. This is Shanks. My son Shanks, he's the younger brother of Shamrock. They were separated after birth, right? He's been through the gauntlet of the lower world. He's been in the trenches. This nigga been in the trenches, so he about that life. He said he from Brownsville, right? So Williamsburg ain't nothing for my boy, right? This is my boy. He even entered into he got his Shallows covenant, but if we get him into a Depths covenant, he's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a problem for us, right? He could be on the level of Shamrock, but for the time being, he's gonna be a God's Knight just like you, right? You guys are gonna be teammates. You can be his elder. You know what I mean, right? So then Harold looks at him. He said, I thought the same thing with Shamrock at first, but have we met before? And he's like, I don't know you, you great lumbering peon. Like, Shanks puts the sauce on it. Shanks already appears to have his injury from Blackbeard or whoever he got it from, right? He already has this eye covered, right? But he puts on a whole act talking spicy to Harold because Harold's like, I've seen you somewhere before, right? And I don't know where Harold is thinking that he's seen him somewhere before, because would he see Garling? Would he have seen maybe he's seen him on the sea with Roger? That's probably where he's seen him before. He's like, I've seen you somewhere. And he's probably like, yo, shut up, bro. Like, yeah, you might see me traveling with Roger or something. I don't know. But don't be saying nothing. How dare you speak to me as if we're equals, peon? I'm going to the big leagues. You're staying here. I've always had the blood of Fingerling in my veins, but my words, I'll be a knight before you. I'm going to be that guy. And he's like, oh, my bad. Calm down, Jamal. Don't pull out the 9. He didn't even know, right? So now we get this cool panel of Shanks and Shamrock walking down, right? Walking down the steps together. You see your boy, he vibing. Shanks is like, yo, tell me everything I need to know. I want to know everything. Shanks is undercover being the rat, right? Like, yo, Oda is listening because Somers called Shanks a rat. He called Shanks a rat. Oda's listening, right? So Shanks, as a devoted blade of God, Saint Shanks and Saint Shamrock, right, of the Fingerling family, he's over here trying to find out as much information as he can about Mary Joie. He wants to really get into the weeds. And Shamrock's like, yo, you got to chill, man. Like, your wounds ain't even healed, right? Like, just relax, brother. He's like, you don't know what it's like. I was in the trenches for 24 years of my life. I always knew I was different. I always knew I was better. I hated everything down there. He's putting the sauce on this act. I don't know how much they trust Shanks. I don't know how foolish they are. But Shanks is really trying to sell this act to everybody. So the final parts of this chapter, horrible, right? We see Ida that same year in the fisherman village of ELBAPH. She is now sick. We see who seems to be Mato, who I believe is the person who still watches Ida's bar in the current timeline. Ida's sick. Oda hates mothers. Oda loves to kill mothers in this series, right? But Ida's just not is not just sick, right? Ida's not just sick. We find out. We found out that Ida's being poisoned, y'all. The people of Estrid's family, Loki's mom, from that village, poisoned Ida to lead to her sickness, right? Hadradin and his crew is out to sea trying to find a doctor, right? Everybody's wondering, like we got to try to talk to Harold, right? She doesn't even want to bother Harold. She's like, no, Harold's busy. Harold's working. But if Harold's doing all this, what is the good of all these connections? If we can't get a good doctor to take care of you, I'm going to be fine. Don't worry, guys. Like, please, just look after the bar for me. And you can tell, right, that something has changed instantly from this moment, because cutting to the next image, right, we see Loki still talking crazy. Hey, outsider hag. And then Mato comes outside. I got some fresh meat to feed her. Like, he's thinking about feeding her. He's like, the bar's a nice place, a chill place for me to hang out at. I need it open again. Like, he's trying to make something. He's not, like, he doesn't love her. He doesn't care for her by masking it under the guise of, I just need somewhere to hang out. I don't want to talk about my feelings and my emotions, which makes sense because of what Estrid's mother did to him. He still has trauma. He's still a broken boy. He lost his mentor, his Shayla, Rox D. Zebek, Davy D. Zebek, right? And as Loki is walking around Brewer's Village, the people of that place told him straight up, ha, we poisoned that little bitch, that little wench, right? You shouldn't have did that. You shouldn't have did that. You told Loki that, thinking that Loki was just going to be down, not realizing that Loki's about to burn this down. Y'all are cooked. Y'all pissed him off, got him wondering. He's like, wait a minute. She's not going to die, is she? Is she going to die? She's going to die. Guys, Ida's going to die. Ida's going to die. So, you know what? Loki had to hit that whole town with the burning finger, because that connection, that one true mother, the motherly bond of it all, Oda fully admits, you want fortune? You people make me sick thinking about the fact that his mother threw him into the underworld. I remember what my real mother did. She cast me off out of the tree into the underworld. You want fortune? You people make me sick. It ain't gonna die, is she? Because she's... As bro just starts breaking down crying. The only mother I have. Oda, you menace. Menace. As Loki thinks about what Ida said, Loki's just lonely. That's all. You want to live with us? Right? The amount of times that Harold tried to get Ida accepted by the elders to become officially a queen in ELBAPH leads to the very people. The revenge of the dead baby mom and her family. Poisoning Loki's only mother. Continuously giving Loki nothing but misery. Oda! Oh, my days. Oh, my days. It doesn't even say it's a break next week. So I don't know if we have a break after this chapter, but this chapter was... Oda's moving. We understand that the reason why Shanks really didn't have a chance to talk to Harold was because he was undercover. He didn't want the cover to be blown. He was just trying to give him a vibe, right? Ralph, I already watched the new episode. Yeah, it's good. It's a solid episode, right? We got to hear Joy Boy's voice for the first time in the newest episode, and we got to see Bonnie go Gear 5 or fake Gear 5, right? A Nika-ish future, the freest future that she can wish for. It was cool. It was nice. My boy Sanji got a little bit of Ifrit Jambe. We thought Frankie had hockey in the manga, some of us, but they did not give my boy any hockey coding when punching Luffy. So, I don't know. But yeah, for this chapter, it's pretty solid, man. What Oda is doing with Ida's final moments, the way everything is weaving together, the child of destiny, that rat Shanks. Solid chapter coming out of God Valley. You know what I mean? The pace is moving. So when we get to the moment of seeing where Harold is finally killed, what drives him mad could be Ida's death itself, thus making him really be prepared to make the giants truly succumb and be under the world government, which maybe leads to why Loki felt like he had to stop him. Emu, you menace. What are we giving this chapter, Lord Emu? Lord Moo is giving this chapter, I give it 8 out of 10. It was solid. We're coming out of God Valley, so tempers and expectations gotta be a little tempered, essentially, right? But yeah, let me know your thoughts on the chapter in the comment section below. Me and Danny will still be doing read through. We just gotta figure out if that's gonna be tomorrow or not for the next for chapter 1167. No break next week, so we are about to get to 1168. So yeah, let me know your thoughts, likes, subscribe, notification bell, and leave a comment after the fact if you tell me your thoughts on this chapter of the One Piece Why. So on that note, y'all, enjoy your life.